Born the eldest child in an isolated village in the middle of mountainous terrain, North the Frigid was born to two loving parents that were considered honorable members of the community. She was born in the middle of the winter with a streak of ice blue hair that would give inspiration for her name. She had a knack for magic as a child and was destined to be the main magic user for the community, to keep them safe from imposing forces and humanoid settlements. She advanced quickly through elemental magics, focusing mainly on ice and cold-based magics, and drawing powers from the ice elemental plane and her own knowledge of spells. As she progressed, her control of magic began to falter, as she was only 4 when she had mastered the highest level of magic. Her siblings looked up to her, but also feared her often volatile magic that could flare up with her unstable temperament. One incorrect statement and her eyes would flare blue with the frigid magic she held barely under control. All 6 of her siblings feared her power and trained in completely different fields from magic. At the age of 6, she was struggling to contain the magic that boiled just beneath the surface, closing off herself from any possible suitors and individuals that sought out her friendship. She would leave a trail of frost behind her wherever she went, and the temperature of her room would drop whenever she stepped into it. She lost some time, remembering only before the incident and directly after it. She remembers kneeling in prayer to a forgotten ice deity, ice creeping up her knees and chest and encasing her before blackness, and then ice shooting from her hands, torso, and eyes, creating a torrent of frozen shards shooting from her. A moment of pure silence and shock, and then red pooling down and around the sharp ice spires that stood in front of her. She looked down to find her arms pure ice up to the elbows and immovable, as well as completely different clothing than she even owned. Grimacing in pain, she fell to her knees and began to realize that she had killed all of her siblings, and she didn't even remember why. A flush of heat hit her, and the ice that had become her lower arms melted away back into flesh, a painful sensation that caused her to black out in a pool of water that was beginning to mingle with blood. Again, she comes to, unsure of her location but cold, an unfamiliar sensation since she had begun her training. The cold had never bothered her, but for now it seemed to bother her. Her magic felt sapped away, and she was unable to summon any powers other than a simple frost and her familiar shadow. Trapped in a cell and alone, North learned that she had been imprisoned after killing her siblings. In simple binding, she had Shadow gnaw away the ropes and used her limited spells to freeze away the metal in an attempt to escape. As she ran, she found that the ice she had been using had begun to freeze up to her wrists. In a panic, she called out, giving away her position and causing her to be trailed by guards who wished to put her back in prison. Running, fear coursing through her veins, she left the mountain range where she had lived her entire life and towards civilization. As she found her way towards humans and other humanoid cities, she found that the tips of her fingers never quite went back to normal, with them staying ice no matter how much she warmed them over a fire. Also, and to her dismay, she found she could no longer cast high-level magics, and that even the low-level spells she casted caused the ice to creep down her fingers, making them nearly immovable and stiff. Cursed. That's what she believed she was. But she was wrong. She was not taken by a curse, but by an evil, icy presence that sought to take her over as it had before, taking piece by piece, starting at the extremities and working its way towards her cold heart. She took to be an outcast, and cold towards others, taking her name literally and not letting anyone get close to her, except for one. But that was in another town, and he had turned his back on her when he found out about her true nature. Hey guys, I hope you guys enjoyed North's backstory. I know the ending kind of gives away sort of like the way that her path is going, but there's certain things I did leave out detail-wise because they're more so for me and my DM to know and less for the average viewer to know about her. I have worked very hard on this character. I have tweaked her over a campaign this far and just a little bit in my own spare time to figure out what I like, what playstyle that I enjoy, and just to make her North the Frigid, goblin wizard extraordinaire. I love her. She is my favorite character that I've created besides Alexandra. Alexandra will always be my first and probably my favorite in some ways. But North is very special to me just because she is just such a cold-hearted character because of experience and not because she's just mean. She's had a rough beginning to her life. And by the way, I know the ages seem young, such as 4 and 6. Goblins reach adulthood at 8. So by the time that I play the character North, she's about 8. She's reached adulthood. So 4 is like teenager sort of ish. 6 is like, well, actually 4 would probably be somewhere in the realm of like 13, 14. 6 is like 17, 18, 19-ish sort of area age-wise. So she's young, basically, is what I wanted to get across. So now I'm going to talk about the illustration a bit. This is something that kind of came to me. I really liked this idea, and I wanted to do some more North art because my last North video was very popular, which makes me very happy because I really love North, and I love being able to share her story with people. So what she's wearing is kind of like I can't think of the word. Like, priests wear those fancy robes. This is kind of like a priestess sort of, I don't know the word is that I'm looking for, but they're like fancy robes that you wear when you're a follower of somebody. So she's wearing these because she follows being of the ice elemental plane, and nobody knows who they are, so she is the only one. And it's kind of just meant to be like to show how devoted she was when she was younger. The sleeves were originally not this long. I was originally going to have her hands show, but I was having a really hard time drawing hands, so I just didn't. And if that isn't a mood, I don't know what is. There's a couple nods to her finalized design for when she hits campaign, such as her brooch is in her hair. She still has the blue streak of hair. She is, however, lacking a lot of her scarring, which I did intentionally. There's only a few, and I kind of intended those to be like scrapes from when she was younger and things like that, and less along the lines of battle hardiness. Because obviously she's like a priestess, what fighting she's going to do. It's kind of like when she was younger, she messed around a lot with her siblings. The other details that I kept also are, of course, she has the streak in her hair. Her eyes are yellow. I wanted to do like a slight blue overlay, but it wasn't working the way I wanted it to, so I just didn't. And I just left her eyes yellow. She also has the 2-point copper earrings that she has in her final design, and this is like really angsty teenager North, and I kind of love it because she just came out looking so cute. This is also the first time that I've drawn her not digitally. A lot of the other portraits and concept art that I've done for her have been digital. So trying to figure out how to do her really bright-ass green skin tone with Copics was interesting without making her look like a lime. I think I succeeded. I like the shadowing that I got over her eyes, and for some reason the Copics have been interacting weird with the paper that I have, and it might just be because I had my hands on the paper prior and they're interacting weird with the oils, or I may not be blending the correct colors, but I'll figure it out. I also had to adjust the initial design because the marker was bleeding a lot more than I was used to, and I don't know why it was doing that. So her dress was originally supposed to just stay this white color, but the green bled into the dress by her legs where I had blended out the shadow, so I had to adjust that. But I like the purple color. I think it looks nice, and it plays well with the cool overall color scheme of the illustration. So that's about it for what I have to say in this video. I feel like I've talked a lot so far, but I also did just read you all of North's backstory, so there's that. So if you guys have any questions about her or want to know any other things that I kept that I didn't address, or anything that she has in her final illustration, I'll make sure that video is linked. You can ask about that as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone!
Hey guys, if you like this video, be sure to check out another one over there, and if you want to see the full playlist for this series, check out over here. Thank you for watching, and subscribe if you like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone!